All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Greatness Stone. Shalom to the elect which in the sword in truth and in sincerity. With the hope of receiving mercy of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai is the name of his only begotten Son. The so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites according to the prophecies that are written in the scriptures. I want to make it known that the RFID microchip is the MOTB. The serpent juice is the precursor to the MOTB. Yahweh Shai, whom dwelling men called Jesus, is about to make his return upon the earth to deliver his elect and to pour out judgment as it is written. So I'm going to go into this lesson, a very quick lesson concerning the wicked devices, or should I call it the deceptive devices of the wicked. Rightfully so. So this is Psalms 64 verse 1. It said, to the chief musician, a psalm of David, hear my voice, O God, in my prayer preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongues like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. And that could have come in any form of deception, any form of manipulation, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him, and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquity. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. So you'll see how deep their heart is, because these are things but them have in the mind. So let's go.
Can we talk about the Rockefellers and how they changed medicine entirely? Can you teach us? Tell us about that. Tell us about the history of how we ended up with the current medical system that we're in right now.
Yeah. Well, the Rockefellers sold oil, and they were billionaires, which isn't really reported by the turn of the century. And at that time, a lot of people at the turn of the century were against the really wealthy people, the robber barons, as they were called, the Mellons and the Rockefellers and the I forgot which ones did the steel. One of the ones that did the steel, I think the Mellons did the steel. But anyhow, so they got this idea that they needed to start foundations and to give themselves a better reputation. And there were two of the foundation, the Carnegie, that was the Carnegie Foundation and the Rockefeller Foundation, had two brothers. They were called Flexner. One was a physician and the other one was a educator. So at that time, there were only two drugs, Bayer Pharmaceuticals. One founded aspirin in about 1948, the other one in about 1848, and the other one at about 1888 was morphine. And so these now were extractions from plants where you take one ingredient from the plant that you think is doing the action, and then you make it a huge amount. And so that's what they did. Or they might add like a little chemical over here, like a fluoride or a hydroxy group, whatever. So, so this was called now like orthomolecular medicine. And the Germans were the ones that were doing this, and they funded an institute.
You see, and the thing is, when we say German is T-man, enough people don't understand. But them represent the wise of Edom. Even now, enough of the things them more know, where them are used to manipulate the minds of the simple. Go back to these German scientists who get split between Russia and America in an Operation Paperclip.
the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute in Germany. And they really were doing, which people don't understand, they were doing mostly experiments in the Nazi camps on drugs and on mind control. And one of the other things that they were doing it on was they found that fluoride made people very docile. And also...
Ooh, what make you docile? Fluoride. What are some of the things they're making now? On Listerine, on toothpaste. Things want to use on a regular basis. But the thing is, a lot of people now look on these things as them are the harm. So no, them now look at it as these things are slow up my cognitive function. You know, they easily I forgot things. You know, understand why. A lot of things have to do with the foods that you eat, and people don't understand the simplicity of it, and that's why a lot of people sick even until this day because of what them eat. What you eat supposed to be your medicine, supposed to help heal the body, you know. The various plants, the various herbs, those supposed to be your medicine, yo. The various vegetation, you know, your fruits.
In our state, we just are getting our fluoride taken out of the water in Florida, so I'm very excited about that.
Do you think they put the fluoride in the water because they knew it would make people docile?
Yes, I do, because I'll tell you what's so fascinating. I have a good friend who's been on Army bases her whole life, basically, since she was a mother. I think her husband was in the military since they were like 25 or whatever they were. And one day she was telling me, you know, because they don't put fluoride, we have to give our children fluoride tablet. So they don't put it on Army bases. And why are they not doing it if it's so great on Army bases? So that I do believe that.
They didn't want the Army to be docile. It seems like that's who you'd want to be docile, I guess, as the Army guys. You want them to pay attention to everything.
I would want them to go attack our enemies. So
I see. So you're saying like it makes us more so it makes us less aggressive. Like it makes us want to just comply, and you'd rather interesting. So so keep going. So they found out with these experiments that fluoride would make us docile. Right. And then they threw it in all of our water.
So this is where the Rockefellers, so what they did, like all corporations do, is they decide they're going to be the arbitrator of what good health is, what good medical education is, and everything else. So what they did, back then there were naturopathic doctors, there were chiropractors, osteopathics, there were eclectics. So an eclectic would take things from the naturopathic or the chiropractic world and integrate it with what regular medicine. And all of these people and pharmacists were prescribing drugs up until the 50s. So all of these people were working together on people's health. So what they did is they came back and said, no, we have to have standardized education. And they closed all the naturopathic schools down, and they closed down the eclectics. They tried to close down the chiropractic, and I'm not sure how they made it through, but they're always the best in politics, I think, of all the medical professions. And the osteopathics were about to get closed down, but during the Spanish flu, if you had an osteopath and he gave you a manipulative therapy, which actually increases the immune system, only 5% of the people died, and something like, I don't know if you went.
So, for understanding, basically, the different techniques, let me put it that way, that was used before Esau want to get rid of them. You see me? And in coming with various laws and policies so that people can get drug up, just in layman terms, to use these pharmaceutical products. While they have various other healing remedies.
To a regular doctor, I think it was like 50% or more died. So they, but anyhow, and they bought off a lot of these schools. They started giving millions and millions of dollars to University of Chicago, to Johns Hopkins. Johns Hopkins made, I actually made saccharin. And the first head of the FDA, he actually got fired by Teddy Roosevelt, who was using saccharin. And he said, if you think that is anything like natural sugar, you're crazy. So he fired him. And the FDA, because he did all sorts of things talking about how horrible our food was at that time, even sawdust and all sorts of things being put in and tin cans and those types of things as they industrialize. So now what I see is very horrible, because my books when I was in school were 1,800 pages, and we took 2 years of biochemistry, how the body chemically works, a year of physiology, medical physiology, which a third of my class got flunked out of in school. We took anatomy, that book, 1,800 pages. All of those courses have basically been taken out of medical, and most of them out of pharmacy education here at our schools. And the medical students come to me and they go, Dr. Lafferty, I just spent $1 million. I don't know anything. So it's very upsetting to see what's going on. They don't want people thinking.
Wow. And it was all just, it started off with just rich people wanting to get in the good graces of the minions. That was their thinking, right? And then mind control them, control the schools, control the education, control the water, put stuff in their water to drug them, make them all docile. I mean, that is insane.
I know, doesn't it? Think about it, but look at where we're at. I mean, for me, because I saw healthy children. I never saw anybody. Yeah, I grew up outside of Buffalo, New York. So in the winter, at 4 o'clock when you got home, you just sat around and watched TV or did homework or went to Girl Scouts or something, because it was dark outside. Yeah. You couldn't go play or anything. But maybe you would gain 5 pounds. But you certainly didn't, gain 50 pounds or whatever. Yeah. It's very crazy. And these young girls putting hormones in all the meats and things like that, getting their periods at 8 years old. Yeah. It's just really, really sad. And we're so lucky to have, to me, Donald Trump as president, and putting somebody as courageous as Robert Kennedy is to take on these big issues.
I definitely hope they tackle hormones in food. There is no doubt that the hormones are just absolutely changing our bodies. I mean, my family's Vietnamese. I'm half, but I have cousins that are full, and obviously most of my family on that side are full Vietnamese.
Let's go back in the scriptures. So this is Micah 2 verse 1. It's a woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hands. And this is what you're witnessing now playing out around the world. This is why the nations are mad, as the scripture says. That's why a lot of lots of people can't think for themselves, but you have reasons behind these things to you, because people don't say we have been fighting a war from the day that we had opened the matrix, and exit out of our mother womb to come on the earth. We have been fighting a war, and one of the wickedest battles to fight is to be fighting a war that you don't even know that you're in. And that's why Esau don't like the prophets, the servants of Yahweh Hashem Yahshua, because we are declare his wickedness before his face. Because I said, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, when you don't know the enemy, So this is Psalms 140 verse 1. To the chief musician, a psalm of David. Deliver me, O Yahweh, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischief in their hearts. Continually are they gathered together for war. And you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you don't even know your enemies, yo. You don't even know that the deck had been stacked against you. And that's what the Lord has said, turn unto me. I will be your peace. I will be your rest. Verse 3. They have sharpened their tongues like a serpent. Others' poison is under their lips. Meaning you can't trust their words, yo. Selah. Keep me, O Yahweh, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent man who have purpose to overthrow my goings. The proud have hid a snare for me, and cords. They have spread a net by the wayside. They have set gins for me. Selah. I said unto Yahweh, thou art my God, hear the voice of my supplication, O Yahweh. And that's why day and today, the brothers of here give thanks to Yahweh for evil could have come out of that state of delusion, believing in the ways of this world. For people to understand the level of manipulation is being used on the inhabitants of the earth, from the clothes on wear, the various fabrics, to the things they want to watch on the various TV channels, which is just another medium. You see me? Where they want to be the shows on I consume, which every minute them put some various abominable elements in it. Brothers supposed to know what I talk about. To the music when I listen, you're under attack, yo, on every side. So I said, I'm gonna make this video short, so that I want to say Kala love, Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bashim Kodash, Shalom.